Hello Stitchy friends, this is Bethany. I'm Bethany.birdstitcher here on Flosstube and also on Instagram. And I have an email and I'll post all that in the description box so you can find me. I really appreciate those who have reached out to me. I haven't been feeling great, have been in a flare-up and then got sick for a couple of weeks and with a head cold, and that just made flare-up symptoms even more challenging. So I haven't been on for a long time, but I have been still stitching. So you're going to see a lot in this video, and I hope you enjoy it and are motivated to work on your own projects or maybe to start some new things with me. So I'm going to get right into it. The last time I filmed was right before Christmas, I believe, and so I have some Christmas gift related to stitching that I plan to share, and we'll just go from there. The first thing I finished, it was on New Year's Eve. I finished it like 12 minutes before the new year or something like that. And this is, it's not framed, I'm just holding it here so you can see it. This is the Jane Austen Quaker from Joanne the Story Stitcher, and she's on Flosstube, which I will link below, and also Patreon. Now, this you have to, for this design, which is free, you have to sign up for her newsletter, and then she'll send it to you. And what I did, I will add in her design and how she stitched it. She and her mother both stitched it, one on Ada and one on Linen, I believe. Anyway, and they did it with the called for. Well, I wanted a monochromatic stitch because I've never tried monochromatic stitching, and I just wanted to try something new, and I used Threadworks floss. I found, I don't know, 12 or 15 floss at a local needlepoint shop. I don't have a local cross stitch shop. The closest one is about an hour and 10 minutes away from me, so I've never visited that. But there is a local needlepoint with canvas and everything. Anyway, I don't do that, but I saw that they had some cotton that was clearanced, some stranded cotton from Threadworks, which I'd never tried, but I went anyway and got a whole bunch of stranded cotton. And they were all Threadworks, and this is Threadworks 1025, I believe. I posted on my Instagram, and I stitched it on a hand-dyed or writ-dyed yellow Ada. It's a little more bold than is showing currently, but I have seen its true color right about there. So it's pretty yellow, and then it's just got the variegated floss. And I was a little picky with using the light blue for her hairband and also for the envelope, because otherwise it wouldn't look like an envelope, it would just be a box over there. And then also the J, where's the J? Right here, sorry. I did the first letter of Jane in the light blue as well. So you've got J-A-N-E over here. And I did the other three letters more with the darker floss. And then you've got her manner. It's just, it was a really fun, quick stitch. And I had a lot of fun doing monochromatic for the first time. So that was the Jane Austen Quaker by Joanne the Story Stitcher. And I'm going to turn that into a project bag eventually. As you'll see from some of my other finishes, I've got some in progress, but sewing is very exhausting for my back and arms, and my muscles just don't like it so much. So anyway, and I think I said it, but that is a freebie. So you can sign up for her newsletter and also sign up for her Patreon. She's a really sweet lady. She's a writer, and she's written her second book and should have released it by now, because I think her video that I just recently watched was older. But if not, she will be releasing in the next few days her second book. Her deadline for writing it was very recently. Anyway, on her Patreon, she has some short stories and things, and you can support her over there as well. She's got, I think, 3 freebies now. Several are on Patreon, and then the one with the newsletter. So I hope you'll go check her out. She's really sweet. Okay, the next thing I finished, and I meant to pull out the cover photo, but I don't have it, so I will add it later. But this is a design that my son made for me, and well, made for Mudpuppy Stitchery. And he sent her 3 little designs, and she took them and compiled them into one chart and made him a professional actual chart, and then emailed the file to me, and I printed it out for him, and then he told me I could stitch it and I could be his model stitcher. So I am very pleased to have model stitched my son's design, and this is a little Tufted Titmouse, and it's on a 3D printed box. Let me just show you. This is the back side of it. And while this was not at all fun, I did learn later that a curved doll needle, a small curved doll needle, is what you need for weaving your ends under for this. Stitching it was no problem, but weaving the ends under, I needed a curved needle, and I just didn't. I was not the greatest thinker with this. But anyway, this is his Tufted Titmouse. And I stitched with his recommended colors. He went through and picked the colors. And then what I did for the outside to fill in the backdrop, because he only designed the bird, and I wanted it to look like it was in the sky, and I used variegated DMC 67. I think I still have it in here. Yes, 67. And I would pull off a dark portion of the thread and cut it, and then I would loop start because I didn't want to have to weave ends for beginning and end. So I would loop start, and then I would stitch with the dark portion for where I wanted that, and the lighter portion where I wanted the appearance of clouds. And it just gave it really pretty look. And I should probably not take this long for everything, but as this is my son's design, I can spend a little more time on it. And my daughter has gotten into felting, and she made me this little pot with a flower for my needles. And so I keep that in the 3D printed box. Okay, I gotta move faster, or this video is gonna be forever. Okay, next. And these aren't in order of how I finished them necessarily. Those 2 were, but now I'm gonna kind of get off and keep things clumped together by designer. So the next one is lace framed Bluebirds, and this is from Austen Embroidery. I bought this for my birthday. It wasn't last year, it must have been 2 years ago, and I just never got around to stitching it. And then I started it for a focus event on Facebook, and I got the entire center portion stitched, minus the beaks and things like that. And then for the another focus event in February, I guess it was, I went ahead and did the outside and finished those. And I did a bit of a conversion on this, so I'll quickly run through that. I stitched with the white, which was B5200, and Austen Embroidery uses their own flosses, and so I didn't purchase those. I just made a conversion, and I used all DMC for all of these. I used the recommended white, the recommended pink, and the recommended browns. Well, no, I did change the darker brown because it didn't contrast quite enough with my fabric. So I changed that to a much darker brown, I think 938 DMC. The Bluebirds bellies are a variegated DMC orange, and I did a loop start for that. The green is a variegated green, which I don't have the numbers in front of me, I'm sorry. But as you can see, there's some lights, some almost whites in the green over here, and then there's some darker colors as well. And I changed the green leaves and the brown here. It was supposed to all be the color of the bird's belly, which I didn't, since I didn't have the special variegated flosses from Austen Embroidery, I didn't do those. I changed the color for all of that. And then the blue is the only one that's not DMC, and that is Weeks Dye Works Blue Bonnet. And I kind of did a loop start, I think, and it wasn't as picky as I should have been because I wanted them to have more variegation, more striping, but that's not how it did end up. I was still figuring out how to do that. I'm a little more comfortable with it now, but anyway. Okay, so that's enough of that. Let's share this next one. This is Plant Mom from Noctiflora Designs, and I changed this to be Plant Dad, and I stitched it for my husband, and I'm going to leave it in the sleeve. But the colors are just adorable, and what you do is you blanket stitch around and you'll connect the two, so it'll have a little piece sticking out of the bookmark. But that's Plant Dad. It's a gorgeous little carnivorous plant. I did change the colors for this as well. So these that you see here, I used what I had in stash. I changed the purples. I believe the greens are all the same except for the darkest green is 934 because I didn't have what was called for. The pot and all is the same, but that's a really cute design, and that was from Spellbound Stitches, volume 5, I believe it was. That was released around September, October. But I need to finish fully finish that. Okay, and then what do we have? Making sure I didn't forget anything. Okay, I have one finish and a frame, and then a start and a finish from Pigeon Coop Designs. And this one is Cormorant from Pigeon Coop Designs. And this I purchased from his website. I love the blues. They were so fun. I did take out the quarter stitches, the partial stitches in the sun there, because I stitched it on a fabric that just blended in and it made it look like I had mistakes and things. Anyway, so I just did full stitches in the sun. I stitched this on Glory by Picture This Plus, and everything I stitch is 18 count, unless I say. Some of my older stitches were 16 count, but everything in this video I'm pretty sure is 18 count. But this was Picture This Plus, using all the called for colors, and then I put it in this frame. I think it looks really great. And then it's in my mind, it's a companion piece to the Heron at Dawn, which is over here, right here. So I have those sitting together. I love that sunset fabric from Picture This Plus. Definitely want to get some more for something else. And then next I stitched Boreal Bounty out of his book Cross Stitch in the Forest, which I'll show later with another design that I put a little progress into. But I started and finished this. I haven't been telling you how long it took me to stitch things. Sorry. Okay, let's see. The Cormorant took me 6 days, and then this one took me 5 days. Lace Frame Bluebirds was 8 days. So this is Boreal Bounty, and I did cut off the bottom. It's supposed to be a full circle, but I didn't have enough fabric for that, and I really wanted just to stitch those pretty colors. So that's what I did, and I don't know what I'll do with it. I might turn it into a little half pillow. Not sure. But that's Boreal Bounty from Cross Stitch in the Forest. And then I think we're moving on to these finishes, which I tried to put on a board. I don't iron anything. I don't have time for that and energy for that. So if you're here for ironing, please don't look. I never iron my whips either. Only when I'm framing something do I iron it. But anyway. Oh, no. I forgot. Where is it? Here it is. This is the other one I wanted to share. I've got this framed, and I have shared this before, but I haven't framed it and shared it. So this is a Patreon release from Mudpuppy Stitchery. It's just two gorgeous toucans. And there was a background, which I cut out the background, and it would have been full coverage. But I stitched just the birds on this gorgeous green, oh, can't think of the name now. Woodland, maybe? But it's also 18 count picture this plus. And I love these. They're beautiful. And I wanted to share that because I framed it. It's a stitched piece, and it's also one of my favorite designers. She is my favorite designer. I have a couple of favorites, but she's my favorite. And I do a lot of model stitching for her. But I wanted to share just the versatility of what you can do with your projects and the versatility of her designing, because she has things like that. And then she has very highly detailed ones, like this red tail raspberries, which I model stitched for her, and it took me, what was it, 10 months start to finish, because I got bogged down in these browns with my eyes. I have a muscle disease and my eyes did not like all of the browns sometimes, and I had to put it down for way too long. It actually only took me 37 days of stitching. So I love the gorgeous berries. I love that it has no back stitching. I'm not a back stitcher. I don't think I ever will be. I will if I have to, but I just love his gorgeous face. The wings folded, that gorgeous tail. Oh, I had so much fun with the tail and all the greens and the berries. And this is from her Raptors and Fruit series, which I've stitched another, which was Kestrel Kiwi. That one was fun. That one was cute. I've already sent that to her. And now that I've finished this one, I have 4 designs that are ready to send her, and I'll show them all to you because I want you to see the variety of this designer. So I love this series. But this is Raptors and Fruit, and it has the prey items for the raptor, whatever kind of raptor it is. So, red tail raspberries. And then this is Northern Flicker, also from Mudpuppy Stitchery. Isn't that gorgeous? And this was a Patreon release. The red tail raspberries you can get on her Etsy. This was another Patreon release. And you can still purchase her old Patreon releases. If you join her Patreon for that month, you can purchase additional old patterns. This one was a lot of fun. So much fun. I struggled, my eyes struggled with the greens in here on the design. Not stitching them because they're different enough, but in the design they were too similar for my eyes. I had to use the iPad and zoom in a lot. But this is Northern Flicker, and it took me 10 days. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. I just love the color, the greens, and this is stitched on Picture This Plus Jade, I think. Pretty sure. All right, and next is a freebie. And I forget what month she released this, but it's on Patreon. If you join her Patreon for free, there's a free tier. You can get these designs. And this is Winter House Finches. And again, it's free. It is adorable. So cute. Lots of browns. If you want to stitch some of her designs, get a lot of 09. She uses it in so many patterns. And I love it. It's one of my favorite browns because it's chocolate color. Let's see, how long? This one took 7 days to stitch, so they aren't a lot. Some of them aren't a lot. And if I was monogamous with my stitching, I'd be able to do some of them faster. Those are all ready to send to her. And then this one I've already finished and shared. But this is another of her freebies. This is Winter Cardinals. Gorgeous design. Oh, I forgot to say, this is stitched, the House Finches is stitched on Pansy from Picture This Plus, and this is stitched on something else. I don't remember. It starts with an H. All right, but it's a really pretty blue, deep blue, but still light. Really pretty. And my son is now stitching this design, which is why I've added it in here. And I don't have his permission to share it, but he's finished the female, and I believe he started on the male's head, and he's saving the berries and all for last, which I'm not sure that's entirely wise, because he's not looking forward to it, and I think he's just going to end up stitching the birds in the center and cutting out some of the other, which is fine. He's 14, and he's loving it. He's only stitched on it for about a week, and but he and I are stitching together. He's stitching this one, and I'm stitching another design, which I'll show you in a little bit. And we started together. We stitch on it together, mostly at the same time. If he pulls it out and I'm working on something else, that's fine. But we try to keep together. And so I've stitched some of the female and some of the male, just like he has. But he's gonna finish before I do. I already know that. Anyway, okay. So those were all from Mudpuppy Stitchery, and just to reiterate, she has a wide variety of stitching and designs, and I really love her. Not to mention, she's an amazing, amazing person. Very sweet, always so kind and generous. She gives a freebie every month in her Patreon, so go join it. There's definitely something for you to stitch. She's got a green frog, which I will be starting sometime. I haven't made exact plans. And she's got a newly released, what's the word? Bunny rabbit. Let me see if I can find that one. I'll show it to you real quick. Yes. So this is this month's, February's freebie. Gorgeous bunny. And we had bunnies growing up, so I'm really excited to get stitching on this one. And I'll show you in a minute some other things of hers, but yeah. Okay, so moving on. Oh, sorry. Getting winded from talking so much, and I left my water at the other table. Okay, so then, because I'm not doing these in order, I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. So I just have one more finish, which is a freebie from Jed XStitch. She released this, and it actually has more down below. I'll try to add a picture at some point so you can see the full design that she has a mock-up of, digital mock-up. But this is Ain't That Just the Way. It's a freebie from Jed XStitch. And this works in Saga, if you have Saga. I stitched it from a paper pattern, and some from Saga, but mostly the paper pattern. I used all the called for threads with the exception of this bird head and the pot color here, you'll see. Those are Threadworks. I don't remember the number, but it's on my Instagram if you're curious. I switched those out to give it a little bit of a variegated feel. I loved this so much. The colors are so fun. And she's a designer that intimidated me because, well, there's lots of borders, there's lots going on, and it just seems a little overwhelming. But it was not at all. It was so fun, and it's not a lot of color changes, really. So I would definitely stitch something else from her. She's got two bird stitches, Blueberry Jay and Cherry Magpie. And both of those at some point I'd like to get, but not right now. I have plenty to work on right now. Oh, and this is stitched on 18 count from Picture This Plus Cherub, or I think that's it. But it's like a pink cheesecake color. Quiet, Maggie. She just wanted to say hi and tell you there's people and cars outside. I can't get it to show, but it's like pink and it's got some white modeling. And I'm going to make this into a project bag. As you can see, I've already started the panel. And this is another finish that I'm turning into a project bag. It is not recently finished though. I finished it a long time ago, and I'm turning it into a little 9-patch bag using the inspiration from the 911 Stitcher. She's been making a lot of project bags with these 9 patches, and they are so cute. So she has inspired me to work on that, but I have not had the strength to finish those. That's okay. They got started. That's the important part. You can't finish if you don't start. Oh, Ditsy Daisy Crafts says that. You can't finish if you don't start. Okay, so that is all my finishes, and that was a lot. Yes, I'm sorry, but a lot of fun. Okay, how long are we? This will be a longer video, which I know it would be because I haven't been here for a while. So let's move on to starts. Anything that I started and finished, I've already shared. So the rest of these are starts that are still in progress. I started Oh Joyous Day from Blackbird Designs, and this is really pretty. And I have thought about changing the fabric, which is why there's not a lot of progress. I don't like this super dark fabric either, but I started it on a yellow. You can't see in this light because it's in the corner there. But anyway, I'm using Threadworks floss for this. Let's see if we can show you. I believe those are all the colors. Yes. The others are for something else. So I'm using some Threadworks yellows, blues, the blue that I used for this one here, that I used for the, words are fun. I don't remember. The one that I used for, oh, Ain't That Just the Way. That will be in here. I got 2 pinks, Williamsburg Road, or no, this is Williamsburg Road. One of these is Cherry Surprise or something like that. I don't remember all their names. And then I've toyed with the greens. I have not decided on a final green, which is why there's so many greens in here, and haven't made a final decision. But anyway, so I haven't decided if I like the yellow or not. So I haven't made a lot of progress because I might be changing that. That's where I was going with this. And this is the original, which is kind of how I'm choosing my green, because since I have so many variegated colors, I wanted the green to be the darker, non-variegated color of the original. And there are several people stitching this. I know Mudpuppy Stitchery said she wanted to stitch it at some point, so we might see her stitch it. But okay, let's get back to where we're going. All right. Let me just clean up so I don't make a big mess that I can't figure out. The next start that I had is from Cross Stitch for the Soul by Emma Congdon. Ooh, really pretty, fun book. Let me get to the page without showing you. This has, when it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. And I have loved this so much. You'll see from my progress, I spent a lot of days, many days, stitching this. I just love the sentiment. I love the color. I struggle with winter and cold and rainy, dark, mud, all of that. I struggle. And so I needed a lot of color. And so this came in and really provided that color. I started top center, worked my way down, and I have reached the bottom. And I'm just adding and filling in so that I can have some purple to work on and some blue so I don't get tired of either one. There's a little bit of gray stitching left, look for, and then the rest of this cloud. So I've got some of the grays, which grays don't bother me, browns don't bother me. Whites and blacks I'm not a super big fan of, unless there's color interspersed, you know. But yeah, it is So pretty. And it's dark, all in one color. And then there's two other colors of the purple here. Rainbow. I'm trying to save it, but it just, you get started and it's so good. I love the blues. I love stitching color. I have loved this design. So fun. And then while I have the book, I will share another start that I have kitted up. And I'm going to be stitching this with my sister-in-law. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Yep, okay. And this is When Life Gives You Lemons, Make Lemonade. And I always think of the song. And I was told this saying all the time. More as a teenager and in college. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Just, it's so fun. I love the colors. Let me show you the colors real quick. I've already got it kitted down here. All these greens, purples, blues. So fun. Okay. So that is one of my new starts. I can't remember if I shared the progress I had made on this. I know I shared that I was starting it or had started it. But this is Noelle from Bent Creek. And this was a giveaway that I won. And then here's where the progress I made. As I said, I don't like snow, so I have not added the bottom there. I haven't gotten around to that. And I don't think I'll have room for the snow and the words, so I might add the words where the stars are in an arch going around it. And it's on a mint green. There's a better color that I used Rit dye for. So that's what's in that bag. I started that on January 2nd. And the next thing I started is Yellow-bellied Sapsuckers. Here's the, yep, there we go. No glare for you. Yellow-bellied Sapsuckers. And this is a freebie from Mudpuppy Stitchery that I am model stitching for her. Aren't they so cute? I love the dainty little designs. I have not made a lot of progress on this because other more colorful stitching took over. This is 18 count Glacier, if I picture this plus. And I've got a little bit of the tail, but it's so cute. And there's a baby bird. You can kind of see the baby bird sticking out of the little peephole there. So that's cute. That's a fun one. I don't think I worked on the other ones from her, but let me just show you. I made a project bag for my model stitching that I do for her. And this is what it looks like. So I've got two projects in here right now. I've got the, well, these colors don't even go all for this. Some of these are still the house finches that I haven't taken out. But anyway, the very first model stitch I did for her, while I was waiting for fabric, I stitched just the cedar waxwing on some fabric from Hobby Lobby, but it didn't show up very well, so I couldn't model stitch it on that. And then I keep the design in that pocket. And then inside I have a lot of her freebies and things, which let me just show you real quick. Okay, so I told you about the bunny. I'll probably start that one next month or maybe in April. She's got a bird whisperer, which I'm going to do a color conversion on. She's got a freebie for the green frog, which I can't show you because I didn't print out a cover photo for it. And then I have one of her other designs that I plan to start in the spring sometime, and that's Tufted Titmouse, and you can get this on Etsy. So I just have all of those in the bag for when I feel like a new start. In addition to the designs, I have a lot of Picture This Plus fabrics that I have started a stash of for model stitching, because her designs I like to stitch on Picture This Plus or any fabric. So I've got some fun colors. Oh, I can look at that color. Hermosa. Okay, I was right. I thought it was Hermosa. So yeah, I just keep all that in the bag so I can pull out and make new starts of whatever model stitching she's wanting done. And then the next new start, yes, is Gramma Knitty. And I will have to insert a photo of this one because I don't have it printed out. I stitched this one from my iPad because it's 16 pages, I think. And that was a lot to print, so I didn't ask my sister-in-law to print it. But that's in this bag, which is a freebie panel from, oh, a French designer. I can't think of the name. But that was a lot of fun. I love this bag. There's all the colors that I have, and I borrow colors from other projects for it, so that's why they're not all in here. When I need it, I just reach into my box and pull out the other bag. Okay, so this is Gramma Knitty. It is a, let's see if we can get the blue first. True to the blue. It's maybe a little brighter. That looks pretty good. So it's got blues and purples, and it's I used red dye, and I dyed a already light blue fabric from KCS on Amazon. And that fabric was actually what I stitched the first model stitch for Kenzie on, the cedar waxwing. And it was a very stiff fabric, and I didn't want a large project stitched on that. So I used red dye, and it softened it up, and it's very nice to work with. Sorry, I'm sure you noticed a little break. I was coughing and had to get a drink, which I left somewhere else. Okay, so this is again Gramma Knitty from Tommy Creates, Thomi. And I purchased this from her, I think around Black Friday time. And I knew I wanted to get a start on it. But it's this gorgeous clematis design, reds, pinks, burgundies. I love burgundies and wines. And I love greens. I love the 500s especially. I use the 500s any chance I get. As you can tell, this one didn't have a color legend, so I just picked greens that I thought looked nice together. And several of them are the 500 and the 501 and 3 and all that. So that's what some of these are as well. Okay, so here we go. 500, 503, 505. And I just love those greens. I love lots of greens, but especially those. So again, it's on this blue, beautiful blue. And I will add her photos as well. She has now finished it. She model stitched it for herself. And she's released this one, and then she's released a Declaration of Independence piece. I don't need to put this back in. But go check her out. Check out her Flosstube. She's got the Shopify link in her Flosstube description. I don't want to add that in here for mine, but I will link to her Flosstube at least, so you can find her easier. She's a newer designer. She's a really sweet person. Love watching her videos as well. Okay, the next thing I started was Cardinal Couple, and this is the one I'm stitching with my son. He's stitching the Mudpuppy Stitchery Cardinals, and I'm stitching Cardinal Couple from Diana Bloom Designs, as I've already finished the other one. So that's what they look like, and this is her February release, which is just perfect for February. Cardinals mate for life, and I love that. And so, oh, let me show you the bag. The bag is really fun. The bag is sunflowers, gorgeous, and cardinals. Let me find the female. There's a little female peeking out there. I guess that's the only female that you can see. But I love this bag. And all of my project bags that you will see are handmade by me. I do have one from a Flosstube friend, but I'm not sharing that one today. Okay, so this is the Cardinal Couple. Aren't they so cute? Oh, I love their little faces and their beaks touching. We have a bird feeder right out our kitchen window, and so when I'm washing dishes, I can watch all kinds of birds. We have all kinds of birds, and definitely have lots of cardinals. And the males and females will feed each other seeds, and so it'll look like they're kissing, even though they're not. And that's kind of what's happening here. They're feeding each other seeds. They're just so cute. I love the reds and everything. This design is another example of one that's hard for my eyes, and I can't show you, obviously. Well, let me see. Maybe I can just show you a little pinch of it. Okay. So you can see it looks like it's all one color, and that's difficult for my eyes to see. There are two symbols, and so the black and white version might be better for this part of the bird. But I have to really struggle and think while I'm stitching. And I love Diana's designs. They look like watercolor. Really pretty. And again, I'm stitching Cardinals with my son for that. And there is a sow that I'm stitching. Oh, I didn't write down who it's with. But it's any Cardinal sow. Yeah, I don't remember who all we're stitching together, but again, check my Instagram and you'll find it. Okay. So now we're to my whips. Those were all of my new starts. What have I had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 starts that I'm still working on, and then I had 3 that I finished within the months of January and August. January and February. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Next I have Wombats, and I stitched on this for a Facebook challenge. Aren't they cute? I love them. I love block stitching. When I have headache days and things, I need fill in or block stitching. That's easy counting. And that's what this little guy is. I'm stitching this. It will be for my son when I'm done. Here's the green. It's the same as Noel by Bent Creek. It's the same green. I think it's the same piece even. But when I get closer, it blows it out, so I apologize. Isn't it pretty? I'll try and get the sun to shine on it so it looks a little more real. It's just really fun. And these are from TinyKiwi on Etsy. And she has frequent sales, so definitely check her out if you like block stitching or if you just want something easy to work on. Let me show you what else I have in here of hers. Looks like I just have 2. Okay, so I've got Galal Love, and these are parrots native to Australia. They're so cute. I'm stitching this one for my daughter. And then the other one, I don't have a full picture of this one. This is Takahe. And it will be the full bird, but this is just his head. A little cameo. And that one will be for my oldest. And I might start one of those just to have some color with the Wombats, because the Wombats is a lot of brown. Okay, next we have the Pollinator Sampler. This is one of my all-time favorite stitches. I have several of those that I have probably told you before. Quiet, please. This is from Mudpuppy Stitchery as well, the Pollinator Sampler, and this is from her Patreon. I believe this was October's release, maybe. It's gorgeous. Oh, I love it. I love it. And this is in my favorite things bag. These are a few of my favorite things. That's what this bag is. Let me just share it real quick because it's so cute. Create Every Day. That's a free panel from Teresa Kogut. And I changed it from black to the rainbow colors. And then I added some sloths. I love sloths. With muscle disease, the unofficial mascot for muscle disease is sloth, because muscle disease can slow you down. And these are all the gorgeous colors. And flamingos. I guess you can't see them. There they are. So, and I have a flamingo stitch that I will do at some point too. But now, da da da. Yep, there we go. Here is the gorgeous design. This is amazing. It's stitched on Calypso, 18 count Calypso from Picture This Plus. As you can see, I have some fill-in ready for headache days. I had a headache, so I did fill in some of that. I worked mostly on the flower and leaves here at the bottom. As you can see, so I stitched all of these, and it was pretty easy counting. And then I stitched the white flower and this leaf down here. I brought the border, I think the border had stopped somewhere in here. Brought the border down and around to here, and then I added in the red part of this flower. It'll look similar to this once it's done, but I love that red. It's $4.98, I think. It's one of my favorite reds because it's like a winey red, burgundy red. Love that. Love the dahlia in the center and that gorgeous bee. Oh my, I love the bee. The hummingbird, I'm trying to save him for last, or at least for a little while. And then I haven't added in some of these other butterflies around the side because for some reason my mind can't, it doesn't always stitch sideways. So the butterflies are sideways down the side here, and then they're normal on the bottom or upside down, like here. Some of them are upside down, and that's fine. I can do those. These I can't do. I don't know why. I just can't get the sideways butterflies to stitch. It doesn't always work in my brain. So I will have to save those for a good brain day that I can count and think. I don't know. I've never stitched anything upside down. I don't know why it causes such a problem, but the colors in this are just gorgeous. Truly a lovely stitch. If you want to stitch something with color, it's fantastic. And again, you can get that from her Patreon. Pollinator sampler. So now, Autumn Drizzle. Okay. And this. Oh, I got it stuck. This is Autumn Drizzle from Pigeon Coop Designs, Max Pigeon. This is his book, Cross Stitch in the Forest. And if you are on Instagram and social media, I assume he shares it other places, but anyway, he's got a second book, Cross Stitch by the Sea, coming out September 2026, this year. And I'm working really hard to stitch as many of these that I'm interested and able to stitch by that time. So there are 25 projects in here. I have stitched 12, I believe, something like that now. And I've stitched some others from his website. He has beautiful bird designs, which I'll get to in a minute. Don't want to spoil it, but oh, I love this book. I love this design. Can you see it? I think you can just see it. I don't want to move it and mess it up, but I've showed it to you before. It's framed here and around, but the design is actually a square. And so I stitched the full square, and it looks like you're looking out a window into the woods, the redwood forest. It's beautiful. I love his design style. Anyway, the one I'm currently working on, I finished Boreal Bounty. Started and finished. This one I started last fall with several friends, and I have not finished it yet because it's a lot of fractional stitches. I'll just get a little closer here so you can see the fractional stitches are pretty much everywhere, all in these trees down here. And so it's a little more slow going. No, excuse me. Well, that's lovely. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll try and cut that so people who listen with headphones don't get that. Okay. But this is where I am. And I've done this half with all the fractional stitches. I have the bottom left to do, and then the big trees here. with more fractional stitches, so it's a little slower going. And I'm stitching this on 18 count Rustico from Hobby Lobby. Artiste brand, sorry, which is a Hobby Lobby brand, but anyway. And I stitched a lot of his on this because the fabric just lends itself so well to nature stitching. I love the colors of this again. We've got the wines and the purples and the fall colors. And this past fall, I started taking a medication that did help my eyes quite a bit. I still struggle. My eyes get tired and stuff. But anyway, and I felt like I could really see the colors of fall. And so I stitched several fall pieces. I stitched Stellar's J from Bad Stitched. Anyway, I just love the colors of fall. So there you go. There's some of the colors. Obviously, if you were missing, I borrow them for other projects. And these are the colors for Boreal Bounty. And as you'll see, lots of 500s again. So I really love those. And, oh, let me just throw this over here. Since I'm done with all that, I'm going to show you the possibly next one that I will start. There we go. This has no fractional stitches, which is why I might start it. But I haven't decided on a fabric for it, which is my only hang up so far. This is Forest Bathing, and he uses the negative space to create the mousse. Isn't it lovely? I love the trees, love the greens, the blues, the yellows, but I need to find a fabric for it. So, and the other one that some other stitchers, floss tubers have talked about stitching is Duck Pond. And I do love this one, and I do want to stitch it, but it has just as many fractional stitches as the Autumn Drizzle. So I'm a little hesitant to start that one until I've at least finished Autumn Drizzle. Okay, so that's some of my plans and current stitching for that. Next we have 100 Owls and Turtle Quaker are my last two whips that I have to share. And I'm stitching them with the Camping Stitcher for her Motif a Week Sal. Super fun Sal. Let's see if we can get this out. Okay. This is a bit of a mess because it's in a small, this is my first ever bag that I made, but it's got owls on it. So this is 100 Owls, a freebie from Owl Forest Embroidery. If you've been here, you already have seen this. So don't feel too bad showing you the wrinkled up mess. But what I'm doing is I'm converting it to, again, with Owl Forest Embroidery, I don't purchase their threads because shipping takes 3 weeks or more and it's quite expensive, and you're shipping them from, well, I think they have an American place as well, but I think they come from Russia. I'm not sure entirely if there's an American hub or something, but anyway, I just do conversions and use variegated threads that I can find on my own because I've learned using the DMC single color threads is less enjoyable for me. Let's leave it there. But yeah, this is 100 Owls, a free stitch, free design. It's still on their website. And then here is my conversion. So they offer a DMC conversion, and I take those colors and I kind of compare them to other variegated that I have. So I will just show you this real quick. It may not make a whole lot of sense, and I have been intending to share my conversion in a floss tube, but time and strength just haven't allowed me to. But anyway, if you can look at that and try to read it and understand it, I use that to convert to different threads that I have. So here are the threads. I have Threadworks and then 2 DMC. These are the 2 variegated DMCs that I'm using. And I don't know all the numbers, I'm sorry. I have them written down. I'm not going to be using this purple. I need to take it off. I just haven't yet. It was in place of a purpley gray silver, and so we'll do that. But I love these colors all together. Oh, people do this so prettily, and I'm not. There we go. It's greens, oranges, grays. There's a variegated black, which doesn't have a lot of variegation. And I do a mix of loop start and pin stitch start for max variegation for some of them. I'm using a few of the DMC just by themselves without changing them. And then I have some in here just as inspiration. This yellow for the barn owl. And then I have a, oops, Cottage Garden Threads, which is my first and only. And this is Slate. Try not to drop the other one. There it is. Okay, this is Slate from Cottage Garden Threads. Really pretty variegated brown. And that is from a Flosstuber who was doing a giveaway. Little paper bear cup. There we go. Okay, and now on to the actual stitch. Now that I've talked about all that and bored you. This is 100 Owls. I'm stitching it on 18 count Arial by Picture This Plus. And typically I don't stitch on Picture This Plus for my own stitching, just for my model stitches. But occasionally I do. And this one I purchased a large piece of fabric because I knew it was something I was going to be stitching on for a long time and I wanted to enjoy it. Oh, there we go. So it's really pretty light blue. My cat is rubbing on the stand, I'm sorry. The shaking is from her. And like I said, I'm just adding in the colors where I want to. It's not an exact swap. So let's see if we can get something behind it. So I can show you a little bit better. Okay, so we have, I'm not doing great. Okay, so we have our barn owls up here, the long-eared owl in the center, which I haven't done his berries because I'm trying to decide if I want to add a red in. I love red, and I love red berries. In the design, they are a silvery purple color, and I don't want that at all. So I haven't decided entirely what color to do the berries, which is why they've been left off. And I haven't done a lot of the motifs, like the grassy motifs, because I might change some of those to red as well to bring the red into the rest of the design. So here we've got this. And I might turn some of these motifs that aren't really leaves into red. So I'll figure that out later. But that's what I have gotten to. I love this Threadworks color. Let me see. I think it's showing up okay. And I don't know all their numbers and names, so I apologize. But that's 100 Owls. Try and get that out. And then the last thing I have to show you is Cardinal Quaker. And this is another Forest Embroidery. And I forgot to say, or maybe I did say it, but I'm stitching 100 Owls and Turtle Quaker with the Camping Stitchers. She's doing a hashtag Motif a Week challenge. And so I'm adding one owl or one leaf section, something like that, or one turtle, or one greenery section for Turtle Quaker. So that's what I'm doing for this. It is so cute, but I'm doing a full conversion. These are not all the colors. I've borrowed the yellow, which I think is 744 or something. It's a light yellow. So if you're interested in that, and the greenery is a variegated 40-30. Is that what that is? Yes. So I dyed the fabric myself using something from my grandmother's stash. So I have no clue what it is. It is 16 or 18 count? But it feels like 18 because of the way it was dyed. But it is the softest, most buttery fabric ever. And I wish I knew what it was, what brand it was. Although vintage, I've heard that vintage Aida is not the same as current Aida. So even if I were to get it from the same brand, same company, it probably wouldn't feel the same. I can't get that wrinkle out. But anyway, that's what the fabric is. And I wanted it to look like Under the Sea. So you've got deeper, darker, darker as you go deeper, up to the lighter. And I'm planning to show as much of the fabric as my framing will allow. I already have a frame picked out and purchased. So let's get to the turtles, shall we? Okay, I have made a lot of progress since you saw this last. I used it for a challenge or two. I don't even remember. And then I'm using it for the Motif a Week challenge as well. So, lots of fun things getting added in there. I love the turtles. I love Quakers. This is my first Quaker, but it won't be my last. I love it. That main turtle there, the biggest one, he looks like he has little jellyfish on his back. Some of the turtles look like they have flowers on them. And then you can see the variegated greenery in a couple places. So I have darks and lights for the pinks. Dark and light pink, dark and light purple. I've got the green, which is the main big color. And then the variegated, which I'm using for all the greenery in here. And I have one yellow. I don't think I'll add another yellow. I want it to kind of stay an accent. And I have one dark blue 939. Which way is upside down? This way. I have 939. I'm trying to show you both of them together so you can see how it will look. There we go, got it. I added 939 most recently because I needed something darker just to kind of make it pop. So that is a dark navy. And that'll be used for a couple of turtles as well. And I'll just splash the color around wherever, whenever I feel like it. I don't have a specific plan. I think I'm almost halfway with that though, or maybe over halfway. Okay, so that was the last whip or finish or start. So now we're gonna quickly go through just some plans I have for March and also maybe April. April is my birthday month, and so I've got some ideas for that as well. March is the birthday month for a friend of mine here on Flosstube, Melanie at Uplift Stitches, and she is doing hashtag birthday Sal, and I'll try to add it in here, but it's bird th day Sal. And she's going to continue that through April for my birthday as well. So that'll be fun. Let me share that first. And I have a couple possibilities for that. And I'll start with the one I have already on hand. So from Cross Stitch Happy Days, which you'll recognize this cat. I showed it earlier in the video from my finish. And she is possibly going to be stitching these gorgeous little ducks, which I have the fabric for somewhere, but I didn't add it in here. Oh well. But I tried to hand dye something, and I pretty much nailed it. The teal dark color there. And I stitched the swans already last summer at Midsummer Stitch. And they were a lot of fun with the little swans there and the lily pads. And so then I will possibly stitch the ducks with her, with Melanie. And I think that's all I had in that book to show. Another one I might start with Melanie, but I'm kind of trying to wait and not have too many from one designer going. This is a Blue Jay. What's it called? Blue Jay and Berries. From Mudpuppy Stitchery. Sorry, the window's glaring there. Nope, this is from Diana Bloom Designs. Sorry. I have a few favorites, and you've seen them all in this video. Forest Embroidery, Pigeon Coop Designs, Diana Bloom Designs and Mudpuppy Stitchery. Those are my 4 favorite designers that I've stitched the most with. I love several others, but I may have only stitched 1 or 2, so I'm still learning their particular style for charting and everything. Anyway, I don't want to have too many going at the same time, although I don't have a blue jay currently, so maybe I'll start it too. What's one more? Another one I might start is the loons, but I'm still trying to decide which one to stitch. I love this one here with the 2 babies, but I love the wings spread on the top one. So I'm not sure which of those to stitch. She has a stitch of loons twosies. Is that what it's called? I can't remember the designer, but she might be stitching that one. So I might stitch a loon with her for her birthday. These you've seen before, they're in my plans video, but I have an update on these. My children want to stitch a round robin with me. So me and my 3 children have each chosen one of these to stitch. I will probably stitch the red-winged blackbird. My middle son, the designer, who I shared his design before, he wants to stitch that beautiful cardinal. My other son wants to stitch the blue jay, and my daughter wants to stitch the chickadee. So the 4 of us are going to stitch Birds and Berries by the Prairie Schooler. And I kind of want to do them all on 1 piece of fabric. So I'll probably choose 14 or 16 count for their sake. And then I want to display them like in a window, make a frame into a window or find a window. Not entirely sure, but that'll be a lot of fun to stitch together. And if I set it up right, I can go ahead and let them each stitch and just have it in a central location, and they can pick up theirs and just stitch on their portion. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated on that. That'll be a lot of fun. Again, I'm not entirely sure when I will start that, but the next one, and I have the paper here because I always forget to show it because I don't have the cover photo printed, but I need to insert the digital photo of it. Anyway, I will add a photo here of Bad Stitch. She has a Gone Fishing design, and it is Gone Fishing. She has alternate names of Women Love Me, Fish Fear Me, and it's just this adorable little cat paw reaching down into the goldfish bowl. It's really cute, lots of beautiful colors. I'm super excited to stitch that one. That one's probably going to be a late March start, maybe April. Haven't decided yet. Maggie, it's okay. And then this is another one that is going to be my birthday month start. This is my favorite Disney character movie, and this is Belle, right? Yes, Fairy Tale series Belle from Donna Stitch on Etsy. I've purchased it. I've got all the floss for it, and I'm probably just going to stitch it on a white so that the colors pop really well. And this will be a birthday start, one of at least 2 birthday starts. And then for Melanie, for her birthday sal, I am going to definitely be starting Bluebird and Blossoms from Pigeon Coop Designs, and I'll insert that here. It's not available for purchase until March 1st, so that's why I don't have it. But that will be a really fun one to start, and should be pretty easy to kit up. Yeah, so I'll be starting that one with her. She's already stitched that one, but she did a video of ideas, and I knew that was one I was already going to be starting. Anyway, I wanted to get that one since it came out last year for exclusive, I forget what it was for, some event that I was unable to join in with. But then the other thing, the needlework market, what's it called? I can't think of the full name. Nashville Needlework Market, there we go, is happening the 2nd week of March. And there are so many beautiful designs, especially birds and flowers. Those are the things that I like. But there's one that is Fruit Dove Frenzy from Boomerang Stitches, and I'll add that again. And I'll show it really for a long time because it's gorgeous. It's just so fun. It's a lot of block stitching. There's birds, there's fruit. As you know, my kitchen is going to be birds and berries, and other fruits now have been added in, and I'm totally okay with that. So I'm excited to start that one. That's going to be another one of my birthday starts. Once I get that and get it kitted up, I'm trying to decide if I want to just wait for the digital release. April 1st, I believe is what she said. Or if I want to get it the first week of March so I can kit it up. I haven't decided on it. But yeah, so that's everything I'm planning to get, to start, to do. So yeah, lots of fun. Super excited. And I'm thankful for each of you. I know there are a lot of people I mean to mention. I didn't write anybody down because I was kind of in a hurry, just trying to get the video up and share since it's been 2 months since it's been 2 months since I've posted. But I wanted to thank you, those of you who have reached out to me. I don't remember if I said this earlier in the video, but Barbara, the Seashore Stitcher, she has been emailing me and just encouraging me, and it's so sweet to have virtual friends that check on you, make sure you're okay. A lot of these designers that I've shared, I'm friends with some of them, and they've checked on me, and it just means so much to know there are other people that miss you when you're not there. So yeah, thank you for being you. Thank you for your kindness and your encouragement to others and to myself. It's so important that we be there for other people, that we fill the gap. You may not know there's a gap, but thank you for filling it. Thank you for spending your time with me today. It has been so fun just to get to share my love of stitching with you. And I thank you for watching and just all your comments and interactions. I thank you for those who are on Instagram and you send me messages or just interact in the comments of things I post. It means so much to know there are other people out there with similar interests and similar loves. And I wanted to thank you. And I hope you are having a wonderful start to the new year. I know it was rough for myself for a little while and for many people. So thank you. I love you. And I hope I see you again soon in your videos and in mine. But I hope you know the love of others and know the love of God. Thank you for being here. I love you.